Well, good evening. Welcome back to Maniac Math with Mrs. Carell. Make sure you've got your worksheet ready to go. All right, so we're starting off with a little bit of important vocabulary. Numerical pattern. A numerical pattern is an ordered set of numbers. Ordered. Let me fix that R so it's not so sloppy. Arranged according to a rule. Just like Mrs. Carell has you in order by your class number, and that is the rule. When Mrs. Carell says line up, you get in number order, and that is the rule. The next one is number sequence, which is a list of numbers that increases or decreases. Make sure you spell this right. Since I'm spelling it for you, you need to make sure you copy it right. Increases or decreases while following a rule. A bit more about numerical patterns. By the way, your mystery letter is A. Write that down somewhere. You're going to need it later. All right, numerical patterns. So you can use the for operations to extend a pattern. Do you remember what those for operations are? Add, multiply, subtract, divide. Those are the four operations. Some number sequences use more than one operation. So just like we've been doing in order of operations, you might have 6 plus 5 times 4. It has two different operations in there. All right, number 3. Rules are typically written in the form start at number something or other, comma, and then add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Add, subtract, we're going to abbreviate some of these. Multiply, divide by another number. That's a little confusing. Trust me on this one. And the rule must work for all numbers in the sequence. You'll understand that a little more when we get into it below. All numbers in the sequence, such as this down here. Identify the rule in the sequence below. Well, let's see. How do I get from 5 to 12? Well, if I'm counting by fives or multiplying, I'm not going to get to 12, am I? Because 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 would only be 10. So it must not be multiplying. What else could we do that will get me to 12? If I add 7, that works. But remember, it has to work for all numbers in the sequence. So if I add 7 to 12, do I get to 19? I sure do. How about over here? If I add 7 to 19, do I get to 26? Starting at 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There's my, oops, not 27, 26. There's my 7 dots. And yes, it got me to 26. So the rule, and you can check this, is start at 5. And then what did we do? Add 7. Start at 5 and add 7. Your next mystery letter is the letter U. All right, number 6, you can also find a pattern in a table. A table is simply that graphic that is below. See how it has 2 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns? That's a table. We put information in it. Now we need to fill in the missing values in that table, then write a sentence describing the pattern. So think of this as a machine. You put a number in here, it goes through the machine, which happens to be right where I'm drawing this blue line down the middle, and what pops out on the other side? A different number. So what happened to it inside the machine? Well, let's see. It started as 1, it came out as 8. So the information in this table has to do with tables and chairs, strangely enough. But let's see, well, if I add 7, just like we did on the other one, if I add 7, does that work? Yeah, add 7 and I get 8. All right, let's check this one. Is 2 plus 7 16? Oh, no, 2 plus 7 is 9. That didn't work. So it must be something different. If plus 7 didn't work, what's another way we can get from 1 to 8? Well, we could multiply. If we multiplied 1 by 8, that would give me 8. If I multiplied 2 by 8, that would give me 16. By the way, your next mystery letter is T. Let's see. These two work. They're both the same action. So if I multiply 3 by 8, what am I going to get? 24. Okay, but now we need to fill in this one. Well, look, it goes 1, 2, 3, I'm guessing 4. Let's check it. Is 4 times 8 32? It sure is. Now, how would we describe this pattern right here? We multiply the number of what? The number of tables by 8 to find the number of what? Chairs. So 1 table gives us 8 chairs. 2 tables gives us 16 chairs, and so on. So multiply the number of tables by 8 to find the number of chairs. Your next mystery letter is the letter U again. Okay, for number 1 on your paper, let's see if we can figure out what is the rule for this sequence. It should look very familiar to you if you've gone to lunch with us anytime recently, or maybe been on the bus. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. What's the rule right there? How do we get from 6 to 12? Well, there's a couple of ways. We could add 6. Does that work for every single one? Yep. We could start at 6 and add 6 every time, and that will give us our pattern. So for this one, we're going to say start at 6, add 6 each time. And that's how we got all the way to 30, right? Start at 6 and add 6. For number 2, I want you to do this sequence on your own. What is the rule for this sequence? Right, for number 3, what are the next 3 numbers in this sequence? Notice that the question has now changed. They're not asking you how you got these numbers exactly. They want to know what the next 3 numbers are. So we need 3 more spaces. So first we have to figure out how we got these 3 numbers and then give the next 3 numbers. All right, well, I can't think of anything that I can multiply 31 by to get 42, but I can add. Let's see. What is the difference between 42 and 31? If I just subtract over here real quick, I will find that it is 11. So 31 plus 11. Let's see if that works out for the other one, for getting from 42 to 53. 53 minus 42. 3 minus 2 is 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. Yep, it works. Okay, so both of them have a sequence of being plus 11. We started at 31 and we added 11. All right, so what would 53 plus 11 be? Well, we could add it up, or if you notice a different pattern, like I notice a pattern that's going on right now, what do you think? Oops, I just moved my whole screen. So the pattern that I'm seeing here is I've got a 1, a 2, and a 3 in the ones place, and in the tens place it's going 3, 4, 5. So I'm betting my next one is going to be a 6, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the tens place, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the ones place. And if we follow that pattern again, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the tens must be 7 in the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 75. And then our last one, plus 11, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the tens place. And I should put commas between these so you can tell them apart. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the next three numbers are 64, 75, and 86. Okay, so for number 4 on your paper, you're going to figure out what the next three numbers would be in this sequence. Number 4. By the way, your next secret letter is the letter M. For problem number 5, we're going to complete this table together, and then you will do number 6 on your own. So how are we going to figure this one out? Let's see. I've got 7 and then 42. Down here I have 42 and 252. Interesting that these numbers are the same. I wonder if that means anything. Well, our first job is to figure out how we got from 7 to 42. Okay, well, we could say 42 minus 7. Maybe we added. 42 minus 7, what did we add? 12, take away 7, that's 5. 3 take away nothing is 35. Okay, so it could be adding 35. 7 plus 35 being 42. I don't know, though. If I add 35 to 42, am I going to make 252? I don't think so. Nope. It only comes out to 77. So that must not be the right answer. I need a bigger eraser than that. Okay. Well, what's another way we can get from 7 to 42? Ooh, I know my times table. 7 times 6 is 42. Maybe that's it. Let's check it out with 42 times 6 and see if that works. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry that 1. 4 times 6 is 24 plus 1 is 25. Look at there, we figured it out. 7 times 6. All right, so now we just need to figure out the rest of it. What is 14 times 6? Oops, get my pen again. 14 times 6. And that will give us this answer right here. 4 times 6 is 24. I have a feeling my pen is going dead. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So this one would be 84. Look at that. 42 doubled is 84. Interesting. 21 times 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 126. Okay, now we don't have the upper numbers. How are we going to get those? Well, if we take a look at the pattern that we already have here on the top row only, to get from 7 to 14, we added 7, or we multiplied 7 times 2. To get this one, we either multiplied the 7 times 3, or we took and added 7 to 14. So if we add 7 to 21, we'll get 28. And if we add 7 to 28, we get 35. Can you figure out the last one on your own? 35 times 6. Number 6, you get to do this one all on your own. I know you can do it. And last but not least, your last secret letter is the letter N. And your last problem, which is number 7, is to try to complete this table. Give it your best shot.